I'm Mitchell with AM Solar, and today we're going to take a look at this Marathon coach that came into us for a little bit of custom design work. This Marathon is about 20 years old, and it came with a dual inverter trace system. I think it was about 10 kilowatts of inverter power, and the system was aging out. Essentially, the inverters were expected to fail pretty shortly. They're getting to the point in which they're really dependable. And so this customer preemptively wanted to get a nice solution in here before he ran into a situation where he was not going to have a replacement inverter. We think that the Victron Quattro inverter is the best option and what's going to work best in this, and is a great replacement for the existing inverter system. So in this system we've got the dual Quattros, and the previous inverter system ran two inverters that were not in phase or out of phase. They were independent, so they can only supply 120 volt loads, and they really weren't aware of each other, so to speak. So we've put these inverters in split phase, which means you're actually producing 240 volts, and you can run 240 volt loads directly off the inverter. So that's a major advantage to this system. Also, this system is capable of connecting to anything down to 15 amp service, and being able to basically balance the loads. Because of these inverters load assisting capability, you're actually able to boost your power source to about 2 times the input. So plug into 15, you can operate with 30 amps, and if you plug into 30, you can operate like you have 50 amps or 60 amps technically, because this has a 60 amp output system. So basically these inverters are going to let you use the system the way you want to and plug into basically any power source you want to. So the previous battery system on this actually had 12 and 24 volt loads and 12 and 24 volt charging sources, or at least 24 volt charging. So the batteries had an equalizer system that would allow energy flowing on the 24 volt to be shared and balanced, so that you wouldn't have an unequal value and basically damage batteries. With these 24 volt batteries, we can't put an equalizer on it, and we can't really supply 12 volts direct to the battery. There's a better option in how to do that nowadays, and we actually have power converters. So we are supplying 200 amps of converted power from 24 to 12, so directly to the 12 volt loads, and we can also supply 24 volt loads as well. The converters and whatnot are on the other side, so let's loop around and take a look at that. So as you can see, the battery bay is pretty well cleared out. This was completely packed with batteries, wires everywhere. We reduced that down quite a bit. Of course, we located the batteries over where the inverters were, and actually didn't use much more space than the original inverters did. So it's a pretty compact system. If you look in here, we've got our 200 amp converters supplying the 12 volt loads, and we're using a battery protect 220 to supply both the 24 volt loads and the converters for the 12 volt loads. So the original system, the inverters ran the auto gen start feature. The new system doesn't really allow that. It is a start stop signal 3-wire generator. So the best way to do that is going to be using an elevation 2 to 3-wire auto gen start. That's what we installed here, so we can run the generator, and we can operate that direct from the Victron system, which you can control basically anywhere. So one other thing that we added into this system that's a little unique is we added a Wakespeed 500 alternator regulator. He has an Almott 375 amp alternator. So with this Wakespeed, we should be able to get a lot of power, and that's a 24 volt alternator. So we're going to be putting a lot of extra power in these batteries from the alternator. That's actually his primary charging source, because he doesn't have much room for solar. So it's probably one of the biggest alternator systems we've done on an RV, or this is the biggest alternator system we've done on an RV. So this system is probably one of the largest electrical systems you've seen in an RV. We are really excited to do more projects like this, and we would love to be able to do some more 240 volt load systems. We've got 800 amp hours at 24 volts, and we have 3 air conditioners on the roof, which is preventing us from doing solar, but we would love to do some solar on the next one of these that we do.